Guys, welcome to another episode today. Jibber with Jabber. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Today I have an awesome guest for you, Rio Altaie.
Yep.
Altaie, I got it right.
Yeah,
I didn't want to get it wrong. Rio is a man of many talents and many disciplines as well. And I've been waiting to get a martial artist in here because all my life I've been into martial arts since I was very young. You know, the whole cassette tapes of Bruce Lee and all of those movies. And it's really a pleasure to have you down here. And thank you for taking the time out to come and join us. And it's going to be a great episode. I can tell already from our pre-episode talks.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we don't want to disappoint.
Exactly. None of that will be cut out from before, as you're used to the live game. So tell me, how did you start getting into martial arts? I don't want to go like too back into it, but obviously every origin story, every hero needs an origin story. So let's talk about.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you know, the whole thing about watching movies and stuff. But actually, you know, we all did this pajamas with the gi and kimono and stuff. But mine was actually, I got beaten up here in Dubai when I was a kid. And the funny thing that happened is I was not involved. It was actually my brother was getting beaten up by two guys, and I went to him and I said, "Look, you guys, what's going on?" They said, "Oh, he's breakdancing and he's speaking in English and blah blah blah." I said, "He's not saying anything." I still remember the song that I got beaten up to. It was like Pac-Man Go. I think they had a rap thing. Yeah. Pac-Man Go, go, something like that. And I said, "Look, they don't mean anything by it." They go, "No, you guys come in and here and stuff." And by the way, they're two famous football players here in the UAE. Yes, they became very famous football players. Everyone knows about them, so I'm not going to mention their names, but they play too for a club wearing yellow. So I'm not going to go further than that. But literally, when I stopped them, I got one of them was wearing a brass knuckle.
Wow! So
I got hit so hard, I gushed blood. So I went back and I hit another guy. Now that English guy turned around and started yelling at me. And I turned around and said, "Look," I still remember the words, "Man, I'm getting beaten up." And that's
to a soundtrack.
Of Pac-Man. And literally, when I got hit by him, hit the English guy, turned around, the bouncer came in and lifted me up. And he goes, "You can't fight." I go, "What fight? I didn't get anything in."
You're right. I can't fight. It's clear. Look at my eye. I can't fight.
I already lost the fight. You know, they talk about Ali's phantom hit. I didn't even have that phantom punch, you know. And so he grabbed me and he said, I guess I bled all over the place. So he threw me out. His name was George, a big bouncer, well known in the UAE. So he grabbed me, Lebanese guy actually. And he grabbed me and threw me out. And he said, "Don't fight." And I still don't want to hit me. And then eventually they told me that one of them had a brass knuckle, you know, because they grabbed me. I tried to push them and stuff. Anyways, after that, I decided I'd get into martial arts, and the rest is history.
And what was the first martial art that you chose?
Actually, I was going to do taekwondo, you know, because I saw the kicks and stuff. But my passion was in Tang Soo Do, Korean martial arts, made famous by Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, before he became the bad actor, he was a very good martial artist, you know. And I like the fact that it's open to all other arts, 50% hands, 50% kicks, very open self-defense, and I fell in love with it. And I've been doing it for
And you became a grandmaster under Hwang Ki, right?
I actually studied under Hwang Ki before he passed away, but my descendant, my tree is lineage, from Hwang Ki. There's Dennis Ichikawa, one of Chuck Norris. So it's Hwang Ki, Chuck Norris, Pat Johnson, Mike Bissell. Mike Bissell was my first instructor, then Dennis Ichikawa, Terry McMeekin. And then eventually I went to Korea to study with, you know, because you go so high up and then eventually they cannot answer your questions. So I went to Hwang Ki himself and I asked a couple of questions that I really, you know.
That's all right. This is Bingo.
Yeah, I thought
he's losing the fight over there as well.
Hwang Ki himself, after he died.
That could be the ghost of Hwang Ki going, hey, that was a secret. Whatever I told you.
Rolling in his grave. Rio Altaie, you made a mockery of Tang Soo Do. Go back, you know, mockery of Tang Soo Do. Anyways, let's not go there. But so I started Tang Soo Do. I noticed it has nice hands and kicks and blah, blah, blah. And then I noticed when you do the hands and kicks, multiple attackers you can take care of and stuff, but when they grab you, you don't know what to do. So I started learning Hapkido. Hapkido is all the joint locks and stuff. But I noticed when you do the joint locks and stuff, you might go to the ground. So I went to jiu-jitsu and I became proficient in each one. I got in. So
how long was the space, sorry to interrupt, but how long was the space in between these?
No space. So when I became second dan, I was doing Hapkido. So when I went to Hapkido, I was like second dan, I went to jiu-jitsu. You know, when jiu-jitsu, I started with Jean-Jacques Machado, Carlson Gracie Jr. And then eventually I had to come Then I studied Kali because just the strikes, multiple attackers, Tong Sudo.
Yeah.
The grabs, the holds, Hapkido. Going to the ground was Jiu-Jitsu. People love Jiu-Jitsu, but Jiu-Jitsu has two fatal mistakes. You cannot defend yourself against multiple attackers. All the Jiu-Jitsu guys are going to hate me, but it's true.
Yeah.
Because you grapple with someone, somebody who's going to come and kick you.
Yeah.
Second thing, they have no knowledge of weapons, knives and stuff.
Yeah.
So for the multiple attackers, I have Tong Sudo.
Yeah.
For the knives and sticks
I feel
and
like
stuff,
now just going,
yeah,
see
there
what
you
you
go.
do.
So I studied Kali.
Yeah.
And I studied
Eskrima.
Kali, yes, Eskrima,
Yeah.
under Remy Precis before he passed away.
Wow.
So that's one of my instructors that came in. So eventually I got the full circle. So eventually, all this stuff doesn't work against the gun. But anyways, I convinced myself I can take care of everything.
It's really funny that you say that because growing up doing different martial arts, I always dabbled in stuff. And, you always ask the teachers, what should I do in this situation and this? And the best answer I ever got was from one of my teachers. And he literally, I said, so what happens when somebody, comes at you with a knife? And he said, the best thing that you can do.
Let me answer this. It's called the double heel technique, which is you turn left heel towards him, right heel towards him, and book it right away.
That's what a teacher should teach you.
Exactly.
Not you're gonna bend the wrist, flick the knife round to the side, and
in college I got a knife pulled, and I'm telling you, I ran away.
There's nothing wrong with fighting another day.
Again, but you turn two heels. I always tell my two, turn the left heel, and they go yes. Turn the right heel, yes, and book it. Run as far as you can. I actually came up with even a martial arts of my own called Arca. Arab Reality Combat Art. It used to be Altaie, Rio, combat art, but I thought, let's not be so conceited.
Of all these martial arts, surely it taught me that ego is not the biggest weapon.
So it was Arab Reality Combat Art, and it's just mainly using stuff around you. Literally, you can use a magazine to defend yourself. I instead of using a knife, I like using a pen to stick people with, because if you do it behind the neck, to the side of the neck, actually it's very effective and it's puncturing. Anyways, so that's my thing.
Which we do not recommend or promote here in Dubai, the country of peace and relaxation.
There you go.
And love.
It's all when you travel.
Yeah, it's all about outside. We're preparing for landing in another country, and then it's all ready to go. Pens out. So what would you say in this time now? And a lot of people have different answers to this. But what would you say is the most comprehensive style of self-defense? None. Because
everyone has a flaw. You tell me an art, and I'll tell you the flaw. Taekwondo, too many kicks. And now it's very exclusive to tall, limber guys. Shotokan karate, they went away from the original karate. Jiu-jitsu, they have no strikes. MMA, they think if they don't allow getting hit to the groin and stuff, there is no art. The smart person is what Jeet Kune Do people used to do, which is try to research and try to always
the art of fighting without fighting.
Well, the way of the intercepted art, but actually you always have to evolve. You have to add something to the art, and every art has a flaw, I'm telling you. So eventually, if you can add to the art and make it evolve every single time
and blend them
take something from everything. It's the problem is they're so proud. Everyone's so proud, and they always tell you the traditional way. The traditional way. I'll tell you that story. Somebody came to me in Dubai and asked me to teach him how to do swords. I used to do fight choreography for the Tonight Show. I did it for other places, but for movies. So I'll teach you how to use a sword, but who's gonna pull a sword on you? And he told me, in Saudi they pull swords on me. And I go, oh my God, come to me next week. I'll charge you for 10 classes, private lessons. He came in, I think, one more time. People like to learn how to use swords. And I can teach them, but the thing is, you're never going to use it.
Because a lot of it now is essentially choreography, right? And contemporary, and to try and keep the lineage going and stuff. I mean, because when you can learn how to do a very good routine with the Chinese broadsword, but when are you ever going to find the Chinese broadsword or find one on the floor or collect one in the fight?
I always tell people, if somebody has a knife on the floor and a stick next to it, which one are you going to run to? They go, oh, of course the knife. The stick because it has more reach.
And it's more extension.
The thing is, when you get to the stick, don't hit the person. Hit the hand that holds the knife. And then you'll have the advantage. But, you have to, people forget that actually martial arts started with only one belt, white belt. When it became old, it was a black belt. And then it got westernized, and then you got... Everyone had to make money. So they had to go the yellow belt, orange belt, purple, and then they go to blue, green, all the way to black. And,
And the one thing I like about jiu-jitsu, though, it's not as easy to get those belts. Like, I've seen some kids training near my house, and they're like brown belts. and they're like 5.5 years old.
It depends on the art. Look, I don't give anyone a black belt under 13 years old, you know,
Yeah.
but I do give junior black belts. But it depends on the art, because I have videos of a 5-year-old from Japan got her black belt in Shotokan, because it's the kata they're talking about.
Yeah.
So different arts give different things. Now, you're talking about jiu-jitsu. I got my purple belt about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
8 or 7 years, 8 years ago. You know, I just got my brown belt.
Yeah.
Prior to that, because Royce wanted me to start all over. He said, okay, if you want to have a black belt under Royce Gracie, you have to start from zero. So he went
Wow.
back and sent me back all the way to, you know, and I have my belts, my certificates with Carlson Gracie Jr., the Machados, but, you know, he wanted me to be, you know, there's only one black belt here in the Middle East, you know. Well, there's one in Kuwait, I guess, and there's one recently in another country. But he doesn't give it to anyone. So he wanted me to start all over. I just, eventually, like I said, 7 years after, you know, I got, and the last 3 years, I was working really hard. The last 3 years, tell you the truth, I really put my heart into it. And I got my brown belt. So it's not as easy.
This is what I like, because, I mean,
it gets watered down.
You know, when people are like, oh, come and do jiu-jitsu, and you've been doing it, let's just say you've been doing it for a while, and you have a white belt, and they're like, oh, you're still a white belt. And you're like, oh, come and see the white belts here, dude. Come and see what a white belt can twist you up and put you in some pretty good position.
Because there's only 4 belts, you know, white, blue, purple, brown, and black, you know, so that's it. You end up having to take a long time to get it, and not everyone can get it, you know.
And when you came here, how was it in the martial arts scene when you first got out here?
2 places.
Yeah.
My place right now is, we're going to celebrate our 20th anniversary, 2022. We've been around since, for 20 years we've had them. My World Black Belt Center is the oldest martial arts. All the martial artists, I don't want to say all the martial artists, let's say, put it this way. We were the first people that brought jiu-jitsu to Dubai. We're certified by, from the federation, that we are the first place that brought BJJ to Dubai. First place that brought Tong Sudo to Dubai. First place that taught Hapkido and Kali. Other places had, but it was like a personal. But we have it certified that we're the first place that brought BJJ to Dubai. I can name about maybe 10 centers that opened up as a way that came in. They started with us, like even Tom, you know, TK. When he came in, he went to Contender, then he went to Glory, then HM, then eventually TK. You know, but he started with us. You have the Royce Gracie Academy. The instructor started with us. Even the Noguera, it used to be called Emirates BJJ. Most of them, the black belts, they came from over there. Like I said, I can name about Entropy BJJ started over there. Kudo started from there's a lot of places that started for us, and they went and opened their own place with our blessings, by the way.
And how did you? So you brought Royce over here, or you?
No, Tam brought. He's the one that introduced me to him.
Nice.
And you know, when you meet your idol, like, you know, when you watch UFC, little guy beating every single person, big guy, small guy, and stuff. And so when I saw him, of course, he kept on telling me he's coming. I go, he's not coming. He's coming. Literally, when he went through the door, is when I believed. Oh my God, Royce Gracie. And you know, they say, like, you see someone say, hey, hi, how are you? You're like, hi, I'm your biggest fan. I am so happy to see you. You know, I am so happy to see you. Me love BJJ. He stopped speaking English and he started turning into a baby, you know.
That's amazing, dude. So, okay, I know you're saying everyone has flaws, but if you were to tell somebody now who isn't a martial, because you're comparing 2 martial artists against each other, but I mean, as a normal Tom, Dick, and Harry guy in the street or lady, what would you say is the most comprehensive self-defense for them now?
It depends on the purpose. Now, what are you trying to get out of it? If you're trying to get pure self-defense, I'll tell you, Hapkido is pure self-defense, is one of the best martial arts around. People say, well, what about BJJ? Yeah, well, you cannot grapple on the streets, you know, on the floor of hot Dubai, you know, but it's a great martial art. But I mean, as far as self-defense, I'm talking about. Hapkido is what I would like to think is pure self-defense. Now, if you want to get athletic and you want to have the high kicks and stuff, then probably Taekwondo. It just depends what you're trying to get out of it, you know. But all martial arts are good. All of them have good things about them, and all of them have flaws in them. So anything, you know, the best thing is to start something.
What is your view?
Not Aikido. Aikido is a bit else.
What are your views on capoeira? And before you answer, be careful.
Okay.
I am a capoeirista.
Okay, look, one of the biggest, we had at one point 60 students doing capoeira at our place. If you remember, God, I forgot his name. The French guy, the tall guy.
Not the one with the dreads.
Yes.
Yes.
What's his name?
I forgot his name as well.
God, oh my God. Anyways, now he's gonna hate
usually
me.
has you might know him by his animal name, because in capoeira everyone has an animal name. They're named after
no,
an animal
but he
or
was a
something.
friend. He was doing it in my place and stuff. And look, beautiful kicks.
Yeah.
But I can tell you how to beat a capoeira person. Okay, so the beat is go dun, 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 dun. All you have to do is just offbeat. There you go. You're like
and that's capoeira head, but there is also Angolan capoeira, which is what the old guys do, which they have a lot of manjinga in it. Manjinga is kind of like sleight of hand, kind of sends you one way and go the other, and it's a lot more. So if you see the capoeira holders that are big,
Chris, by the way, his name is Chris. So
yes.
Chris, don't hate me.
Chris, we remember.
Yeah.
So you have the big kind of contemporary capoeira, which is more for show. But the Angolan one, because it's like the circle that they fight in is like this big. I understand what you're saying. No one's going to start doing capoeira in a real fight.
Yeah.
And if they do, make sure it's not one of your friends that you have to back up.
Just change the beat.
As a movement martial art, because also like there's a lot of other martial arts which are based on movement.
Okay.
You have Tai Chi, you have a lot of, they're more based on rhythm and movement. Do you rate it at all, or is it like,
I rate the kicks. I do my my spinning heel kick based on capoeira.
Based on the capoeira.
I don't have the most flexibility as I get older. I don't have the flexibility. The flexibility, as you lose it, you cannot do like taekwondo spinning heel kicks, but you can do it the capoeira way by bending your knee, reaching for the floor, and doing it. And that's a great way to, again, you take something for everything. For me, from capoeira, the spinning heel kick, you know, is nice because anyone can do it.
As well, that you build a lot of speed from the ground up.
So you throw it, but you're telegraphing it. You're going around like this, and you throw it in. But to get something out of it, they have nice spinning heel kicks and stuff. But again, as self-defense, with all due respect to all martial arts, some of them, even aikido. Again, they're gonna hate me for this, but a lot of my friends do aikido. I did it with some of Steven Seagal's students, but I don't see it as something that evolved. These arts, these arts did not move with the time.
Let's talk about aikido for a second.
Okay, you've done aikido as well, right?
No, I haven't. But let's talk about this whole Steven Seagal thing.
Yeah.
How much of aikido is actually real, and how much of it is students pandering to the teacher?
That's the latter. I mean, they teach you how to fall. I mean, literally, we used to do silent classes. Someone comes in and you throw and stuff. Yes, but they teach you how to fall because we don't want you to. But it doesn't work as much.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is an aikido teacher gonna do that to somebody who's not coming in to do aikido? That's the point that I'm making.
That's what I'm saying. I think because it's movement, and they say you're reversing the movement, I guess. But it's all about falling. It's about the other person making you look better. I can have a little bit of aikido, and if I get, I'll tell you who was really good at this. A guy named Butch, and Butch used to do self-defense with a girl. Her name is Michelle. They call her Mouse. Krasno. Great martial artist. Won a lot of tournaments in forms and katas and stuff. So what she used to do, she got this guy Butch, who used to be able to fall boom down, and he would make her look so good. She touches him, he flies, and So I think the students or whoever does aikido really well can make any novice looks really great. And unfortunately, I think aikido did not move with the sign of times and stuff, and did not progress. And for that, I don't think it's a great self-defense. And I stand by that word. It doesn't matter. I earned the right to say this, but I don't rate aikido highly as far as only the takedowns to look. But as far as self-defense, they have some joint locks, but it's all movement. You
see, I have not earned the right to say this, but I will say this. For me, I find that, I mean, don't get me wrong, any discipline and anyone that sticks to something for a long time, it's mashallah alayk, and keep going and doing it. But like Woody said to Buzz Lightyear, that's not flying, it's falling with style.
It's true.
That's what I feel.
I like I said, I wouldn't. When I say hapkido, by the way, I mean that confuse hapkido with aikido. Hapkido is all about joint locks and stuff, and the way that the style that I do is called combat hapkido. It's all about like literally, they say, okay, grab my hand. So John Pellegrini used to say, don't say grab my hand, just do block check. Block check, just like the Jeet Kune Do. So he incorporates a lot of the Jeet Kune Do block check to grab someone. So don't grab my hand. Let me show you I can do. They're not gonna grab your hand. So before they grab, 1, 2, and then you do the joint lock. And I believe in Hapkido.
I mean, but this is the thing that's fascinated me about these things: the anatomy of fighting and stuff like Hapkido and stuff. Like when I first learned about the thumb being the weakest link in the hand, and that no matter where anyone grabs you, if you go in the direction opposite to the thumb, they're not holding on to you, no matter what they do.
Exactly.
I was like. And then I was like showing everyone, hey, look, grab me.
See, and there you
grab
go.
me there.
But the thumb is the most important. I mean, without thumb, we could not have written on walls, and history would not have been preserved. So actually, the thumb is responsible for the history of the mankind, the opposite
and
the thumb. You know, to eat and stuff.
bit of Mendy there. To scoop, So how do you feel about the way that the rules have changed in mixed martial arts and stuff? Because, you know, we went from the beginning of anything goes, jump on your face, step on you when you're down, kick you while you're down in the head, to now where it's a lot more organized. Okay,
I mean, if you look at the history of UFC, when they had the challenge, I was around when it first started, and it used to be in Black Belt Magazine. You know, I met the oldest brother. I was going into a tournament in Long Beach, and I'm warming up, and I saw this guy I still remember, yellow flyers in Long Beach tournament, and he was saying, "Oh, you should come in and stuff." I go, "What is this?" He goes, "It's jiu-jitsu." I go, "What jiu-jitsu? Brazilian martial arts. You should come and try it." I go, "Okay," but, you know, I didn't pay attention to it. But UFC came in to actually show how superior jiu-jitsu is to other martial arts, and the rules were made to have a jiu-jitsu stylist win. I mean, Royce still, you know, went around Ken Shamrock, and you know, he with his belt, I remember, and he actually choked him out. So the rules were to their advantage. But with that being said, nobody could beat them because they beat every single person. So the Gracies are responsible for MMA. Period. You know, and UFC, and the way the rules changed. I like the new rules, obviously, because the old rules, I mean, they were really great, but eventually you'd get someone to get to the final match, and he did not fight one single time. You know, Royce was winning pop. And then at one point when he was with chemo, I think, and he hurt his back, so he went to the next match, and he couldn't fight. And so they brought someone else instead of him to fight, and so the rules are not so good at that time. So they had to go in with weight and stuff. I like the new format. I like, you know, how you get belts and stuff, and some rules I don't like. The 12-6, I think it's a stupid rule. But then again, I actually, when I was the commissioner, I was the first Arab commissioner in the Middle East. I think the only Arab commissioner in the Middle East, and I changed the results for one of the fighters who hates my guts, Tariq Sulaiman, 12-6, and I said that's illegal. So we're going to change it from a win to no contest.
Okay, we cannot bring up the Gracies without bringing up Sakuraba. Now, what are your views on Sakuraba and that whole, you know, the Gracie hunter that he became during that time?
Part of it is a coincidence. Part of it is he actually, you know, he beats so many of them. You cannot say it's just a coincidence. But, you know, when you find a flaw in the system, and he progressed. I mean, he would watch, and we did a whole show about him on Abu Dhabi TV, actually, about Sakuraba and his effect and how what he did. And part of it is just he caught them in the wrong time, but a better part of it, he studied them and he knew how to beat them, and
he evolved.
And it's just like, you know, basketball team, Lakers right now are one of the best teams, but they lost to the Pistons like 2 days ago because, and even though they won only six times, and they beat the world champion Lakers. So sometimes it's just matchup. Sometimes he knows what they're going to do next, you know, because eventually they pull guard.
You can't take away from the beast that Sakuraba was.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
He came into that fight with Royce Gracie on Royce's rules, and it was no rules. We're going to fight. There's no time limit. There's no, literally, until somebody submits or quits.
And it was
over an hour, over an hour of fighting. And the same night he went to fight again for another hour. Like, that's.
Yeah, Sakuraba.
He's a beast. I mean, I play fight with my kids for about half a minute, and I'm just like, all right, the Baba's tired now. Come on, go. Like, imagine 2 hours of fighting, and who are you fighting? You're fighting Royce Gracie.
Yeah. You know, like I said, he studied them. He knew that where to get them. I believe maybe it would have been different if he caught Royce when he first started. You know, look, ground fighting, there's no one better than Gracie's, but Sakuraba is a different beast. You know, so he got their number.
What are your views on Khabib right now? So he's obviously undefeatable up till now.
I'm going to tell you something, because they asked me who's the GOAT and stuff, and I still think he's one of the top 5 of all times and stuff. I think he's not going to fight again. And I said this on the show, and they kept on saying, no, look what Dana is coming to say and stuff.
Doesn't matter.
And I told him, yes, it's not going to come back, but he will come back again. I met Khabib and I met GSP. And GSP, I sat down like him, talking to him, and I go, what do you think? He said, look, I don't mind fighting him, but he has to come down. He's bigger than I am when he walks around. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes 20 kilos. I think the biggest problem with Khabib, that he cannot cut his weight anymore.
Yeah.
And he has to go to a different weight class. So I think there will be a super fight.
With GSP.
With GSP.
Khabib also said that that's like the main thing that's going to
well, but they said he's too old. He just hit 40. But if you notice, I'm with GSP, you see he's training.
Yeah.
He wants to see where he goes. And GSP is one of those people that wants to test themselves.
Yeah.
And it's not fair for the UFC for them to fight for a title, because both of them will retire.
Yeah, of course, you shouldn't be fighting for a title. It's not fair to the other fighters now.
And I honestly think at this point, let the other guys fight for the belt, and you can have a super fight, and you can make more money maybe than any title fight.
Yeah.
Unless it's Adesanya and John Jones.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one as well. Which hope that you're commentating, and I'm lynching on your back behind on a free ticket for that one.
That will be good if they open it up, especially Etihad Arena. It's amazing. I've been to the Staples. But Etihad Arena is amazing. There'll be a great.
So you think that GSP is the man to beat Khabib, or if you could choose any fighter of the same weight from any time, who you think is the match?
I think that the age difference is a factor. I mean, you saw Alistair Overeem last week losing, and I think he did not lose to Volkov. He lost to time. Like if Rocky Balboa, when he talked to Creed in the movie, he goes, he said, your father didn't lose to me. He lost to time. Like time caught up with him, and eventually time will catch up with you. And I think Khabib decided to retire. I think he could have defended. He could have done really well with other fighters. But I think GSP.
A GSP in his prime. Let's say you can take anyone from their prime and Khabib at his prime.
Yeah. GSP
who you're putting your money on?
GSP can beat him.
GSP
can beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why do you think that? Do you think that he wouldn't have let him take him down as much, or how do you commentate that fight?
This what I think. I think GSP is a better striker than Khabib.
Yeah.
Khabib doesn't have the fundamentals. People will hate me for this, but
of the movement.
Yes. I mean, look at boxing. Boxing have 4 techniques: jab, punch, hook, uppercut. Right. So jab cross, you guys call it. So anyways, jab cross, hook, uppercut, and Khabib uses a lot of those haymakers. He uses like overrights from far away, and sometimes he commits too much.
Yeah, he leans forward a lot with them.
And GSP can time him really well, and I think he can get the best of him.
But people would have said that about Conor. People would have said that Conor with that counter would have been able to get him in that, and he couldn't.
Well, he won one of the rounds. I think GSP is not one-dimensional. Conor has a problem with ground fighting, and now we're noticing that he's done some stuff. Sometimes he becomes too one-dimensional, like too much one-dimensional. Conor, I still think Conor is one of the best strikers in the world. I think when he thinks with MMA fighting techniques, he can do really well. He just changed recently he brought his boxing coach. He wants to do a boxing and what beat him, people say he wasn't checking. No, go back and look at it. Actually,
he tried to check in the beginning, but then after a couple of checks, you're not checking.
But DC did this show called Detail, and you can see in the show he was checking, but it wasn't working, and his leg swelled up. But then again, I said that before the fight. I said, watch out for Trilogy. People say he can beat him. I said, yeah, but think about it. There's so much more money. I don't mean that he lost the fight on purpose and stuff.
There's more money in the Trilogy.
There you go. I think so. I'm very much into conspiracy theories.
Me too. Don't get started because this podcast is going to go way left. It's going to go way left right now.
For God's sake, 19. Let's not.
Let's not get into it.
I'm just going to give you.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to just say, you cannot get 19 Arabs to be on time and agree on one thing. So to get 19 people to agree and be on time, so one of them will miss the play. Anyway,
I would want this to get the views and monetize this episode, so I will not continue this conversation. Do you feel like McGregor's kind of over it now? Do you feel like the money, and do you think that fighters do get to that when they have all the money, they have everything they need, they kind of don't have the hunger anymore?
He has too much money. There's more money in boxing. The problem with this, because I know the guys from Paradigm and stuff. I shouldn't be saying no, but I know a lot of people. But anyways, but he had a fight was going to happen against Pacquiao, and the only way he wouldn't have that fight if he gets knocked out, and he lost that. So it's a good thing to me for us, because I think he's gonna come back hungry, because Conor has a lot of ego. Nice guy, smart guy. I really think he did not fight his best fight, because he knows if I lose, there'll be more money even with it. And he's still a king of pay-per-view. I just put recently the numbers. I think he has the top 4 numbers as far as pay-per-view, then one big UFC, like I think 200 or 150, and then him again 2 times. So he can always bring the money. But there's more money in boxing than there is money in MMA.
There's more money in converting over to boxing, you mean?
No, there's more money in boxing. You can make more money as a boxer for a title than you can make money in MMA. So when he converts
as the top,
as a top,
one,
yes. So when he goes and when he fought, I think what they tried to make up 1 billion in that fight, and I think they were what they reached, I think, $500 million or something.
They reached more than they need.
Exactly. So I think because he has so much money, and he started thinking like, let me go to boxing. I can do a couple of fights, and look, I mean, who's in the scene? People are talking about fighting this YouTuber. What a shame.
There are other YouTubers that could put up a better fight.
But I go back and say, I said it once, and people hate me because they love boxing. MMA killed boxing. Remember that old song in the 80s?
We built this city on rock. That's just my song that I like.
Video killed the radio star. So
I was close.
Yes. And so MMA killed the boxing stars.
That's it.
I think it just killed boxing, unfortunately. I mean, when I watch boxing right now, I'm going, take him down. Kick him. Oh my God. But
let's talk about that. Now, before we talk about that, I'm going to go back to one thing. What is I'm going to tell you mine first. So a lot of people are like, I don't like watching Khabib. You know what he's going to do. It's boring. Well, anyone that is good and has locked something down, that is his way to beat him. I don't blame Khabib for fighting that way. Like he's there for the win. He's there for the title. If you can't defend against me, that's more for you. That's your problem.
People forget GSP was boring towards the end. I mean, he was, because he was beating everyone and he was boring. But I think people need to also get their money's worth. It's not about winning. Sometimes I always talk about the showmanship of the fight. John Jones gives you showmanship in the fight. Conor gives you the showmanship before the fight, during the fight, after the fight.
Even after he loses,
he
still gives you showmanship.
Yes, Nate Diaz gives you that showmanship. Even now Masvidal. So sometimes it's not about winning; it's about giving the fans what they want. I'll tell you the story. A penalty kick. You come in and you score. You hit it real hard. Someone comes in and does it, just a chip.
Chips it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but okay.
I mean, there was
standing and fighting. Khabib does stand and fight with people that he's not supposed to stand and fight with. That's showmanship. No.
Okay. No. But you see the technique. I mean, I don't want to speak ill of Khabib. I'm not saying that. I think he's great at what he does. He comes in, takes him down. I can tell you, everyone knows the problem is not me. All the fighters know what he's gonna do.
And
we
they
cannot
can't stop
do
it.
anything
That's
about
what I'm saying. That's what I like about it.
But because of repetition, repetition, people say, okay, well, he's gonna take him down. He's gonna So don't forget, audience are demanding, and they're not loyal. They want to have the new thing. They want to see a new thing. They want to, in order for you to win, if you have a formula that works and you do it over and over, double leg takedown, put them against the fence as they come in, go on top, don't let them bend their knees.
Lock both of their legs in, cross their legs over each other.
Exactly. If they turn around, you got a rear naked choke, so you always get that. So I think Khabib noticed that nobody can beat him his way. So that's why it's a good thing that he wants to retire. I would like to see him against GSP. I would like to see him fight again, but if you look at the top 10, nobody can beat him right now. Maybe Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He has the jiu-jitsu. He has the long arms, but he's not even top 10 anymore, so nobody will give him the fight.
So who would you say is your favorite fighter to watch?
I mean, I'm talking all times?
Both, all time and
now. Look, I like Conor.
Yeah.
Win, lose, draw, I like Conor. And people hate when I say that, but look, he's always exciting.
Yeah.
He's always exciting, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like the new persona, and I do believe, I always compare MMA or UFC lately to WWE because they're taking from them. But I think win, lose, or draw, you're going to enjoy Connor's old persona.
Yeah.
Not the new one.
But you know,
If I want to have a Family Guy and stuff, I'd watch myself.
yeah, it's true. But you know, it's quite funny that we were talking about Sakuraba, and that the one thing that Royce said about Sakuraba is that his calmness was the most dangerous thing.
True.
That
He doesn't
the fact
panic.
that he doesn't panic, and Connor has a lot of that in him too. Because even when he's walking into the strike, he's very loose. He's very kind of like not bothered. You know, at the best of times, he's not very stiff. The old Connor, yeah.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen Connor panic was after the Nate Diaz fight
Yes.
in the press conference, and I thought I don't know, something about that day that, you know, and if you think about it, he was never the same after that. But then again, you know, we forget about him against Cowboy Cerrone.
But him against Cowboy Cerrone,
let's not go there. You know,
it could have gone any way. To be honest,
no, it could have gone any other way.
You think so?
No, he demolished Cerrone.
He did, but what I'm saying is that first shoulder hit kind of did more than it was supposed to do. I feel like.
Well, I thought Cowboy did not do anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Nothing.
I can see a conspiracy behind your eyes. He didn't do
yeah,
anything,
look,
and he wasn't supposed to do anything.
and he
either.
got 6 fights contract right after that fight. So you know, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not. What's his name? Steve Smith. What is what's the first name is?
Dude, I've got to talk to you about this guy, this referee, the boxing referee, Willis. Do you know Willis?
Which
Steve
one? The
Willis?
one with the eyes?
He is my spirit animal, dude. I've never seen anyone that makes me so.
Like he goes,
That's exactly how I'd be. I'd be like, ooh, like his expressions. There's videos.
You forget that they're humans too, and they get excited. You know, look, I do commentary in Arabic and English. I'm the only commentator that does Arabic and English. I like to beat my own drums. No, but sometimes when I get too excited, true story. Twice it happened to me during UAE Warriors and during ONE FC. I'm doing commentary and I go to another language because I get excited. You know, I'm doing my first cage the commentary with ONE FC. In Arabic. It was very. And then we came back, and I started speaking, and my Ali Muqdad was, you know, and he's hitting me. I go, am I saying their names wrong? I'm like, and I turned around like, what's going on, dude? And he goes. And Bil Arabi, he starts speaking Arabic, and he said, "Yeah, this is how Ria wanted you guys to hear it in English." So he covers for me in English. I went to English from Arabic. I went to English, and again it happened at with Lucy Bertaw and with UAE Warriors. I'm translating to what she was saying because we were interviewing her and stuff, and she was sitting with us doing commentary. And then we're going back to the fight, and I got excited. I go, oh, and he was hitting really hard and stuff, and that was in English. And they're going like this, and I go, what? You know, I'm saying, and I just go. So you forget that a referee is also a fanboy. Sometimes you get excited, and you know,
if there is a fanboy, that is the way
and
you should be a fanboy.
You know,
dude, and not just that, the camera managed to catch him always between both fighters, and
his
it looks
eyes
like he's
bulge,
waiting. He's waiting, like he knows what he thinks should come next, which punch, and he's like.
but it's also edited because I think he's waiting for the end of the round to stop.
That's what's happening.
So
what's the funniest thing that's happened in a live moment for you?
Well, that's one of them. That's one of them. I as I'm speaking one language, I went to another language. One time they announced something wrong. It was 28-28, 28-28, something like that, right? And then 29-28. And they gave, let's say, like red, and the red was red, blue. They were tied, and 29-28, and they gave it to the red, and they announced it that the winner is red. And I just like, no, this is wrong. And I had to take the mic. I said, don't call it like this. And they came in. I go 100% because I have an ABC certification under Blake Rice. I went twice with Blake Rice, and I was the first Arab Commissioner, like I said. And I trained under Mark Goddard. So I told him, no, this is actually a majority draw. And I go, trust me, this is wrong. So I went in, and you see me on the camera going, don't do it, you know. And that was in one of the shows. Another show. Desert Force. At one point, this fight was never aired, but one of the Emirati fighters was fighting with another guy, and they were fighting. There was so much blood, they could not put it on NBC
No way.
on a Monday night. There was so much blood, and the thing is, he was so tired. One of the fighters was so tired they would push him against the fence,
Just to keep him up.
yes, and so much covered by blood,
Yeah.
and the referee letting it go,
Yeah.
and the promoters are telling me, call it off,
Yeah.
and I'm going, but it's nice, And
But it's cool.
This fight was never aired.
Wow.
That was one of the best things that happened, and I think one of the best lines. I think maybe that was funny. People laughed. It was funny because the fighter's name is Fatty.
Yeah.
It's Fatih, Turkish fighter, and he lost so much weight.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh my God, Fatty looks in shape. Fatty is no longer Fatty. He took it that way.
You recently had is it recently that you did your world record in commentating?
Yes, actually, this last Fight Island 3. So what I did UAE Warriors on a Friday. I did UFC on a Saturday night. I did UFC on a. So I did the very first one was Max Holloway and Qatar.
Yeah.
Then I did the one after that, which was Chiesa with Magny.
Yeah.
Then I did UAE Warriors Arabia on Friday. Then on Saturday I did the Conor fight. So I did 5 fights within a span of 8 days,
Wow.
and that's a world record. So we applied for Guinness Book of Record recently, and we're just
And then hopefully you'll get it.
I mean, they're saying 12 weeks, and if you want to have it expedited, you have to pay $1,000 and stuff. So we'll take care of it and stuff. So once it's there,
Expedited. Hey, we're Arabs. You don't use those words with us, dude. Just say sense. Expedited is a touchy word for us. You know what I mean?
So yeah, if this comes in, this is the first time, because you don't have that many events happen in 1 week, and we had 5 events in 1 week.
Especially now.
Yes, I mean during Corona, and I did it. I was lucky enough to do. Last year I did Arabic and English. This year, this one so far I done only Arabic, and those 5. Like I said, I was not even scheduled. I've seen it. It was done for events in 2 weeks. Mohammed Al Hosseini did that with us, but it's the first time that it's 5 events within 8 days, and I did that. So I've been blessed with that. So let's see, to hold the record will be a good thing.
Nice. So you think that going back to the Overeem fight, you think that just time has caught up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did an interview with him about 2 months ago. He was in Dubai.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy. I'll tell you something about Overeem. I have a good story about him. But Overeem, he was strong in his 40s. When you talk to him right now, he's talking about his kids, about time to spend and stuff. Whenever you start thinking about retirement, you're already retired. Yeah. He's saying, this is my last run towards, I think Chael's son also said it, don't talk that you're going to retire once you win the title, then, because they're not going to give you a shot, because eventually all the things go back. And again, Alistair Overeem is a different persona now than before. I'll tell you when I first met Alistair Overeem.
You've had a couple of altercations.
Yes, I mean, I'm the only guy that did this to Alistair Overeem, but Tam can vouch for this. So the Tam Khan had a couple of us, like maybe 5 of us, 6 of us, for him, Khalid Arab, Alistair Overeem, Tam, and they were all grappling. Yeah. And at one point, he was getting the best of Alistair Overeem. So I turned on my video camera and I recorded this. So when Alistair went out, he said, "What's with the video shit you're doing?" I'm like, huh?
He's my friend. I just want to get it.
He said, "No video." I said, okay. So I did not erase it. Yeah. So I sat down. As I sat down, he came in and he's mad, because Tam did really well with him at that time. Tam was in his best shape, and he sat next to me. He's so big, and I started erasing the video seriously.
Just slowly.
And I go to him. I go, if you want to check my phone. I did not record anything. So he goes, no, don't worry about it. Anyways, day after, I posted my pictures with him and stuff, because I took pictures. He was nice enough, So I posted my pictures on, I still remember it was BlackBerry. Nobody had smartphones except for BlackBerry at that time and stuff. So I posted so one of the families that I teach, a lady, her name is Tara, and with her kids, Max and stuff. And then we go, oh my God, Alistair Overeem is here? I go, yeah. They go, where is he? I go, Tam's place. They go, do you think we can see it? Yeah, I can't see why not. So Tara got Alex, Max, Alex's friend, Max's friend, her husband, neighbors, the maid and stuff. About 10 people went. Yeah. And oh my God, Tam calls me, he goes, Rio, Alistair is so upset at you. I go, why? What happened this time? It hasn't been 24 hours. And he said, this lady that you send, and she brought 10 people with her, and they all want to take pictures, and he's so upset. And he goes, I think Tam was scared at that point. He said, Sam, did you tell them to come in? He goes, no, it wasn't me. It was Rio. He goes, where's Rio? He goes, remember the guy from the video yesterday? Yeah. And needless to say, I swear, he came in a couple of times. I didn't see him. I tried to avoid him. And then I met him about 2 years ago. And I told him the story. He said, don't worry about it, And he was really that kind. The time after that, he came and signed some hats for us. And he did the one-on-one interview with me. Really, really nice interview.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How old were you? Or do you specifically remember the first time or your first interaction with your own mortality? How old were you when it actually dawned on you that we're mortal, we die, this is how life works?
Okay, I mean, I was kind of a daredevil, I was very influenced with the James Bond movies and stuff. So I did scuba diving, I did skydiving, I did, so a couple of things happened to me. Let's say in skydiving or scuba diving once, I did night dive, and we were in a lake, and as we were going in, we went into a cave.
Nice.
It was dark. And I remember when I go up, I'm looking up, let's go up, and we go up, I look, it was a ceiling like this, and our bubbles are being trapped there. And I still remember this. I did a 360, and because I had Albert Silva was with me, and I just went with the light. I go, so to calm him down, I was like this, calm down. I go, okay, what do we do? And I'm looking like we have about maybe 10 minutes left, and so I didn't know what to do. So eventually I go, let's follow the bubbles. So I started blowing bubbles, and I started going around, and I go, and by the time we got out, two people were skinny dipping as well. And I thought they were dead bodies in there.
You're like, I made it to heaven. They're naked. It's true. Everyone is naked
and
here.
It was cold water. I'm like going, why are you?
You shouldn't skinny dip, mate.
Exactly.
Him,
definitely. Yes, but it was a guy and a girl. Anyways, so that was one. And there was, I used to do skydiving as well all the time. And one time I jumped, and I'm like, and I pulled the cord, and I'm looking. And usually there's an impact, and there was no impact. And then that was my last jump, or like
on the license.
Yes, my last jump to get out of the student status and get my license. And I'm like, all I can say, I swear, is hey! And I'm laughing. I swear, I was laughing so hard because I thought this is the way I'm gonna die, And he was saying, pull the cord, and I'm going, I did pull the cord.
What do you think this is, a dreadlock?
And so I threw it away. I still remember it because they told us if you lose it, it's $25. So I go in, and I'm descending like this. So they tell you, put your feet together, your knees together, reach in from here, and pull to your knees. So I did that. So I'm going like this, and now the air started hitting the canopy from behind. So actually, it just was packed wrong. So I'm going in, and I go reach for this, and I boom get the impact. So all my thinking, I pulled the second one. I'm like, I'm okay and stuff, and I land, and everyone's running at me. Are you okay? I'm like laughing, and my legs are shaking. I'm like, I was about to die, and that was my last jump, by the way. I didn't jump after that.
Wow.
But I always thought if I die, it should be something really big, and that was as big as it gets.
Well, you see, that was the American side of you that threw it away. If the Arab side, you would have gone $25. I keep it here. No, it's good.
That was a scary incident.
And so that made you face your mortality?
Yeah, I thought I was never scared of death till that point when I was really very close to death. That one and the
and now?
One. Now, because I made the mistake of getting married twice. And
my condolences.
Yes, if you want to have kids, get married. If you don't want to have kids, don't do that,
Can I just say that the views reflected here on this podcast from minute 50 are the views of Rio and not of Jibber podcast, and I cannot be held accountable for anything he says.
No, seriously, Arab women are very hard to please, and there are different types of Arab women. I'm going to tell you a story. This is a true story about what happened. How you can tell a difference between Arab women. This is a true story.
I have disclaimer number 2.
Look. I tell the story because this is true, and I love the story because it's absolutely happened in reality. So we're sitting here, myself and this lady that was a journalist, and I got another guy, African guy that comms.com or something. Comms is the name of the magazine for ITP and stuff. We don't know, anyway. So we're sitting, as she was talking, I know she's an Arab woman. So I said, "You're an Arab. Please, can I guess where you're from?" And she goes, okay. I go, okay. So you start speaking, and you did not say Sabah 70, Manao 70. So you're not Syrian. So she goes, you're right. I go, and you and I talked, and you did not make me depressed or fight with you, so you cannot be Iraqi. She goes, you're right. So I go, hold on. And throughout, we're talking, you did not try to sell me anything. You did not try to fool me with anything. You're not Egyptian. She goes, no, I'm not. So I go, with all due respect, you're laughing at everything I do. So, and you're not frowning like, so you're not Jordanian. She started laughing. She goes, yeah, you're right. I'm not Jordanian. I go, okay, last one. There is no cosmetic surgeries all over the place. So you're not Lebanese. There you go. So she started cracking up. So I go, are you Palestinian? She goes, yes, yeah, I am. So she went, that's true. But stereotype, but it was true.
The views of the podcast.
What are you talking about? I'm not going to be able to go home afterwards.
Don't worry. It's fine. But I want to know from you now, because I like to get this out of people. What happens when you die? Are you scared of death? Is it something you think about? Are you ready for death?
I imagine it's the product of what all we do. My son this morning said, Baba, when you die, you're going to go far, far away, and then you're going to go up in the sky. I'll tell you, I thought about death when I was driving to Abu Dhabi media late at night. It was after Kobe's death. And I thought, what was his last thoughts? His last thoughts before he died. I lived a good life. I think, I've always thought, I was very morbid, before. But I think it's, you set goals and you try to achieve your goals, but you have to live your life as if you're going to die tomorrow. But you do for your life as if you're going to live forever. So you expect it, you try to do everything right and stuff. But if you die, I'm sure I'm going to be scared.
That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people say that, and I'm saying, okay, but what about if you're going to die in 3 days? So for me, what that does, it changes me into that, that goat that you see on the memes that they go say, ah!
That's you.
That's me. See, it's like everyone says, no, live life to the fullest and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all right, I'm still scared though.
Okay, in college, we used to have this question, what would you do if you have $1 million and stuff? And one of my friends said, we said this, what would you do if you're going to die tomorrow, if there's a bomb and stuff? This guy said, I would love to have a homosexual experience. So when he said that, he was looking at me. I'm like, so next time, every time he coughs, I go, you're okay, buddy. Yeah. You're okay.
Just into the corner.
Because they said, what would happen if a nuclear bomb hit, So I go, well, you go to the desert, But now every time we hear a siren in the street, wow, wow, dude, it's not a nuclear.
So if you knew now, the same situation with you, apart from that experience finding your friend there, you'd be like, hey, I'm older now, I understand what you're talking about. What would be the last thing that you'd want to do before you die?
That I would like to do? I thought about that as you started thing. I would have loved to say goodbye, but it gets too emotional. So I think I would just set up, how many hours do I have? How many minutes?
About 47 seconds. No, a couple of minutes.
A couple of minutes before I die? I'll probably have
but you could choose to be where you want.
Okay, but it'll probably be...
an hour. Let's give you some time.
40
40 seconds is not enough time.
An hour, I'll probably take care of business. I'm very responsible. This is one of the things I really like to be responsible. I crave responsibility. So I probably make sure that my mother is set. I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
Yes, I have 2 girls, 2 boys. So I just tell them every time I talk to my ex or my current wife, I just tell them kids have to get their black belts. Yeah. I think martial arts is great for kids. So if I die, please make sure you carry for them. They have to get them. I don't care about degrees. I mean, I got all the way to PhD and stuff, but I don't worry about this as much as I want them to get their black belts, because I think it teaches you goal setting, and that will be my legacy eventually. Like if I leave something for my kids, I want them to continue, because all of our lives is about goal setting. You wake up in the morning, you have a couple of things you want to do, but when you were born, you want to finish school, then high school, then college, then get married, then get divorced,
then get married, then get divorced, then get married,
and then, but it's all about goal setting. And if you set yourself goals, I'm so blessed that people think the blessing is the money or the cars and stuff, but I said that recently. I'm so happy that I have my eyes I can see with, I have my hands I can smell, I can eat, I have my health, and that's the most important thing in my opinion.
How young are the youngest kids that you teach in
your schools? I honestly, I'll allow them to come at 4 years old, but I don't want them to be burned down. So I think the best age to start is about 7. But
I was trying to get some free training for my kids here.
Just to bring them in. No, because my eldest daughter, I started like at 3. I had to break a board when she was 6 months.
Wow.
I brought a taekwondo board. Like
okay, but there's a different thing between breaking a board and just slapping the baby on the board, bro.
That's what I did.
She broke a board. No, you broke her on the board, bro.
I tickled her, brought the taekwondo board to her feet, and she's a strong kid, and she broke. She broke it, so but she got burned out. She went all the way to brown belt, and she hasn't got her black belt. My kids, I want to slow them down. I want them to do what they like, but they have to learn martial arts. I think it's a great thing. No matter what you do in life, I think it's a great one of those things that you can always use in life.
It's been an absolute pleasure. No, before we go, let's quickly MMA All Out. Let's have a quick talk about that.
Okay, so it's MMAallout.com. And we started with a TV show. We have 165 episodes on Physique TV. When eventually the TV station closed, I kept on, because after the first 2 seasons, they were going to close the show, and I kept on going on Facebook saying, no, I hear it's coming back again. To the fact that the TV station called me and said, stop spreading rumors. I go, what? And I seriously, I insisted that it's going to come back, and they did that, but we did about 6 seasons. We have 165 episodes. When the TV station closed eventually, I carried on with it. I got the Instagram account. Then we went and did MMAallout.com. I really recommend this for you, because I don't do everything that's written in it. I do some parts, but the majority of it's done by other people, and it's one of the best martial arts sites. www.MMAallout.com. I highly recommend everyone to do it. If you guys like interviews and stuff, we go to MMA All Out Instagram. We have something I could do called the Rio Drive. Nice. Just to save money. We have just like karaoke. The one with George Michael started and stuff. So I have. I had Michael Chiesa, I had Dan Hooker, I had Mark Goddard, Blake Rice, I had Frank Triggs, UFC guys and stuff. We drive and we talk, and we always finish with 10 questions, random questions and stuff. And some of it is fun. Some of it, Michael Chiesa told us he almost lost the fight because he had diarrhea, which, and we called this the Rio Tour.
I almost lost the podcast once because of the same thing. That's why I told you, if you need to go to toilet first, do it.
But, one of those things that shouldn't happen to anyone. Not even your enemies.
Exactly. Man, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we're humbled, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come down and gibber with Jabber.
Thank you so much for having me. That was fun. I didn't even notice that the time flew.
Remember I told you? I told all my guests this.
Which reminds
me, how long? I'm like, an hour. They're like, oh no, an hour. And then after, they're like, please, let's do some more. We will have a part 2 for sure.
Thank you, sir. Definitely. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Tell them to gibber with Jabber.
Gibber with Jabber always.
Boom.